Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that inflation has been going crazy these days. Prices for everything, literally everything, have been going through the roof, and it's getting to be insane, making doing anything almost impossible, or at least much more difficult than it used to be, including fabricating a custom Catback exhaust system. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for stopping in. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button right now and hit that little bell notification as well. You don't want to miss out. We do 3 videos every single week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and I never miss. And I'm sure you're going to find something of interest on this channel, especially if you like Nissan Infiniti related content. But we're broadening horizons. We're doing a lot more stuff this year. I'm really looking forward to it. But there's 450 videos already uploaded to my channel, so check them out if you get a chance. But today we're talking about the Speed Culture Studios custom Catback system as it has come to be known. Over 800 of these systems have been installed throughout the United States and Canada, and overseas I believe as well, which is really, really awesome. Something I never imagined, but it sounds great. It performs super, super well, just as well, if not better than any aftermarket system out there. But we know that prices are increasing, so I thought today is a perfect time to make a little update video, because as you know, if you've been following along, my first Speed Culture Studios custom Catback system video was all about doing this system for under 500 bucks, and it was possible back then. Two and a half years ago, it was possible. I got mine installed, parts included, with labor and additional material to connect everything together, for around 500 bucks. A lot of people were getting it done for $600-700 total, even in California, unbelievably so. But prices, it's absurd these days, and I try to keep all of the links in those original videos updated to get you the best deal possible. More importantly, I like to have everything all in one place, so you're not going from website to website. But I wanted to go over some of those little details today. I'll put links to those original videos in the description below, so you can check that system out if it's still of interest to you. But with all of these price increases and whatnot, I wanted to make a quick video today to help determine whether or not the Speed Culture Studios custom Catback system is still the best option for you. So let's dive right into it. I'll go kind of piece by piece and just show you what those pieces used to be and what they cost now. So the main component, arguably, is the Borla Pro XS mid muffler. That's a dual inlet, dual outlet muffler that goes kind of right in the center of the system. It replaces your factory Y pipe, right? Those used to be $130, $150, something like that. Now they're over $200. The Flowmaster Flow Effects resonators, those used to be around like $40 or $50 a piece. Now they're $80, $85, $90 or more. There's a U-Power option out there that was available for just around that same price point. MagnaFlow mid muffler, still relatively inexpensive actually. If you don't mind a little bit more of an aggressive note, maybe a tiny little bit more rasp sneaking through, you can go with that MagnaFlow mid muffler option. That's linked in those other videos as well. That's still just shy of 200 bucks, so it's increased substantially. The dual wall stainless steel slash cut 4-inch tips out the back, those were $26 when I first bought them. My first set of those tips, 26 bucks. Now they're like 50. The flanges, if you can find the 2.5-inch flanges that connect to your test pipes or your factory catalytic converters, that's what allows you to connect to everything in the Catback system, right? Those flanges, it's one set, one pair of flanges, used to be 25 bucks. Now they're $50, if you can find them. Gaskets, not so big of a deal. You can still find those readily available. I think Z1 Motorsports still has the same price on those metal gaskets if you're interested in those. But just the pieces alone have essentially doubled. They've essentially doubled, just shy of doubling. So it's a little bit wild there. Material costs have gone up as well. So this is where we're seeing some more increases. I'm hearing a lot of people getting estimates from shops at $500-600 to install this thing. Some even more. California people are being quoted $900-1,200. Those prices, that's just the shop telling you they don't want to do it. So stay away from those people. Don't let them push you around. Literally a 2-hour installation job. In fact, actually, it's about a 1-hour installation job. The guys at Inman Muffler Shop installed this for me in 1 hour, and we chit-chatted the whole time. So they're a good crew. They're not going to mess around with you, but I know all shops are a little bit different, and material costs are going up. By the way, you don't need mandrel bent stainless steel. for this system. You don't. You just need the regular aluminized steel exhaust piping. That's totally fine. It's not going to rust on you. It's going to last. It's going to be durable. It's going to be weather resistant. It's going to be just fine for you. And it doesn't need to be mandrel bent because this system flows so nicely. There's no crazy angles or anything like that. So you don't the crush bends that people will talk about, there's no crush bends. You might lose a tiny bit in dimension, a little bit of diameter around some of these curves, but it's not enough to restrict flow, and it's certainly not enough to hinder performance. So don't worry about that. Go to an exhaust shop. If they know what they're doing, they're going to have nice, smooth, clean bends under the car. And again, it's not going to affect performance whatsoever. This system, if done right, is going to perform just as well, if not better, than any other aftermarket exhaust system out there. I've proven that time and time again. We've had this Q50 on the dyno a number of times. There's, again, 800 people out there with this system already installed, and it is going to perform just as well as anything out there. The other thing is the flame map. You can get flames with this setup, but I've done this. The issues with the flames is that they're going to break down the components in your exhaust system faster than normal, right? So there's been 2 or 3 people that have said they've blown out the Borla mid-muffler. Well, it's going to happen if you're shooting flames and doing pops and bangs constantly. Exhaust components are not meant to endure that kind of abuse. What do you think is going to happen, right? So I've had my system installed for 3 years. It sounds just as good, if not better, than it did when I originally installed it. I've used the flame map occasionally, but moderation is key for anything, right, guys? But now here's the real question. Is the Speed Culture Studios custom catback system still the best option out there? I'm going to say yes. Because even though we used to be able to get it done for $500 or $600, and now we're getting it done for $900 or $1,000, around that range, I would say, considering the inflation, considering the increase in prices of material, and some of the labor costs that shops are getting these days, you're going to be looking at around $1,000 for all the components and the labor to install it and the additional material to connect everything together. That's the other thing to consider. Some of these shops charging a lot of money. I say they don't want to do it for you, but it might be because you're also bringing the components in, and some of that profit margin is eaten up by you bringing in your own pieces. So what I would suggest doing is get an estimate from a shop near you or several shops near you before you buy these pieces. The question still remains, right? Is the Speed Culture Studios custom catback system still the best option out there? I'm going to say yes. For $1,000, even though we've seen some of these price increases, everything has increased in price. So you look at Motordyne or NVIDIA or whatever other systems are available for these platforms, those prices have gone up as well. But you know what else has happened? You can't get them. They're not available. There's people waiting months and months for these exhaust systems. They order them through a site. They say they're in stock or available. There's going to be a 3-week lead time. People commit to it, and then 3-4 months goes by, and they still don't have them. So that is something that's not going to happen necessarily with the Speed Culture Studios custom catback system, because I try to keep all the links updated as best I possibly can. If somebody lets me know that, hey, this link that you provided says it's no longer available, I find another source and I update that link. The one thing that we're having a challenge with is those flanges. That's the hardest thing to find. There's several resonator options available. You can use other mufflers for that mid muffler instead of the Borla, but Borla is such a big name, you can find them almost anywhere. So just doing a little bit of research, but the flanges are still the most difficult thing to find. But Google is your friend. Also, exhaust shops have connections, so they may have flanges available. So if you can't find them online, check with the exhaust shop you plan to go to. They might be able to get them for you better than you can find them online. So something to keep in mind there. Also, these are really good components. This is something I want to point out. People love their name brand stuff, but Borla has been around forever. They have a huge name in the aftermarket exhaust system world. You really can't beat a Borla muffler. I mean, super high quality, really good stuff. Again, if you're blowing flames and doing pops and bangs through them, no matter what you get, you're going to damage your muffler. Keep that in mind. Flowmaster, again, have been around forever. Normally, you see them more with the V8 stuff, the muscle car crowd, but they make really good, high quality stuff. Same with MagnaFlow and Vibrant. These are other components that I've recommended for this system. So you see a company or you see a system out there with a big name brand like Motordyne, they're using the same components, they're just rebranded or rebadged. They're made at the same place by the same people with the same equipment, with the same materials. They just throw this, I just use Motordyne as an example, but they throw this other badge on there. These mufflers, the highest quality mufflers, are used all over the place. You just don't know it. So keep that in mind, guys. people say, oh, custom system is a cheap way to go. This is not a cheap way to go. These are top of the line quality components that are just put into a system. And again, mandrel bend, stainless steel, you know, they have their place, but that's not always necessary. So just keep those things in mind, but this is kind of all tied into whether or not the SCS custom catback system is still the way to go. And it can't be beat. The VQ is a super raspy platform, we know that, but this system was designed specifically to handle that rasp with the components that I recommend. So sure, there's other systems out there. The Motor 9 Shockwave, it's very similar. It's got a mid muffler. I think it's a single inlet, but it goes to a dual outlet. But nonetheless, it's sort of a similar setup. It's got a nice big resonator, you know, muffler right there in the center, goes back to some larger resonators out back. It's a very similar design, but I went through a couple different iterations with the components, the specific components that handle the rasp best. So, you know, the hard work was done. The research and the study was done. Again, we've tested it on the dyno, we've shot flames with it, we've beat on it for 3 years and it still sounds good. And the pieces are available. You can order them now and you can get it installed within the next couple of weeks. No wait time. Can't beat that these days. But thank you guys very much for watching. I hope this is a little bit helpful. Again, check the description below for some links to those original videos if this is a system that interests you and you want to pursue it. That tells you everything you need to know, how everything is pieced together, etc., etc. But hopefully this was a little helpful update for you because we're seeing inflation across the board, and the Speed Culture Studios catback system is no exception. We're seeing prices increase, so I just want to make sure we acknowledge that and let you know that that original video, the saying, get this system for $500, doesn't necessarily hold true these days. But hopefully one day we can get back there. Who knows if that'll ever happen, but it is what it is these days. So thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate the continued support. Leave comments or questions down below. I get to every single one of them as quickly as I possibly can. Thanks again for the continued support. We'll see you in the next one.